Well, the neighbor's mowing, so this isn't the most ideal time from a sound engineering perspective. But um, I wanted to. It's like 7:45, and we got a lot of shit still to do tonight before we leave tomorrow. And got to see my mom today. Well, she saw all of us. Went over to her place, and then she stopped by and gave us some things for the trip. Some rose petals, since she can't go along. Some rose petals to spread, or when we spread some of his ashes, to also do that. And then getting some stuff for the cooler, mowed the lawn a little extra short since we'll be gone 8 days. Shut down the eBay store, paid rent. The women are over dropping our dog off at Clay's for the week. She'll be excited to see her dog cousin. And yeah, I've just been, I don't know, just a little more compressed than usual today. I just think because a multitude of factors. Obviously, it's a big trip. There's a lot of things to get done. You know, Nathanael is sometime, I don't know what day even exactly, may have already happened for all I know. But Nathanael, you know, is sometime after Sunday, but probably by Thursday, because they said we could come anytime Friday. You know, Nathaniel's form, his physical body will be turned to ashes in a crematorium. Oh, it's fucking rough. My little baby boy, who I saw born, first person to ever see him. My wife was doing the hard part. First person to hold him, to touch him. And then you see him grow up into a boy, into a man. And there's something about the finality, you know, like most of my family, you know, had a traditional burial, and, you know, so they're, um, they were embalmed, and, you know, so they're, I don't know what state that their bodies would be in at this point. Those are the things that you want to think about, but in which myself, I want to be cremated as well. But there's just something about it. There's some like, well, maybe even still right now, it's like, my son, who I gave a hug to when he left, on this trip, and then he boarded the plane and he flew, and we saw videos of him that he would send, and pictures, and then he passed away in his bed, and then a coroner and some officials or whoever, police officer would have gained entry, and there's my son, lying there, but he's there, it's his, not his consciousness, but not his sentience, but his body. And for all I know, that his body is still in the world right now. And a temperature controlled morgue corner or whatever, cooler at a funeral home. But by the time we get there Friday, everything that physically was him, will be in a fucking container. I mean, so it's just fucking, it's a bittersweet trip. It's like, and I bumped into well, our landlord that we rent from, who I'd consider a friend, saw him, and of course he gave us well wishes, and then bumped into another friend who was a grill cook, um, at Waffle House when I was over at Meyer. Third cigarette, by the way, still sticking with it. Um, Buying some groceries for the cooler, and I just hear someone, "Hey, Luke," and turned, and he said he was glad to see me, and I forgot to. They had I saw that he had contributed to the Nathaniel's Memorial Fund, and I forgot to thank him in person for that, which I'll send out thank yous. But you know, of course he asked how we were doing, or I was doing. You know, I said, well, under the circumstances, I mean, it's like, it's hard. It's like I'm healthy, I'm breathing. I can ambulate around town at will. But my son Nathaniel can't. He's dead now. So fucked up. Like, if I could trade places, I would snap my fucking fingers right now. You could throw me live into the fucking furnace if it meant that he'd come back. He would have been a good dad. He would have been a good husband. He was a great friend. He would have been a great uncle. And it's like my grandpa. It's like for everything that he meant to me and everything that we did together. He died before I turned 21. So at this point, I'm 42. It's like more than half my life has been lived at this point without him. One of the most important people in my life that ever existed. Now I've had to live more than half my life. Nathaniel was in my life for, a little over 20 years. God damn it. It's like, you know, if I live to be 63, you know, there's gonna be more of my life that I've lived without him from now until then than what I had him in my life. It's just so fucked up. You know, it's like so fucked up. There's just so much pressure right now. It's like the fucking world. You know, it's like there's all this coronavirus shit, and then now you've got fucking riots and major cities on lockdown. It's like we're gonna be to Vegas in a few days. A cop just got shot. Unfortunately, it's unfortunate that anybody gets shot. But I imagine that the town's gonna or city's gonna be on high alert. You know, it's just like it's just. But a global pandemic and nationwide civil unrest is not going to keep us from going out to get our son and bring him back home. Though he be ashes, we are coming to get him and to bring him home. So we'll leave tomorrow as soon as we can. And I'll try to keep up on these video diaries while we're gone. I'm glad I started calling these when I was trying to figure out, like, what am I going to call these things, these little videos that I'm doing. And it was like, I don't know, what it was a week after I started doing it or something. Because it's like there's just nothing good to call it. But just the after diaries, that's all it is. It's just it's after. There's nothing. There's no resolution to the feelings or the loss or the fucking pain. It's just after. It's after Nathanael, and it will always be after Nathanael until it's after me. So tomorrow we drive.